Wes isn't coming at all tonight?
He was supposed to be.
Here he is.
All right, welcome. I'd like to call the meeting of the select board to order, noting that we have a quorum, we have presence of a quorum. It is 7:02 p.m. Because we are half Zoom, half in person, I'll do a roll call vote. I tend to do just the same loop, so I never forget anybody. So I can see Priya first, so. Roll call
Sundaram
vote.
present.
Thank you. Wes,
Present.
Dave,
McKenna present.
and Hilberg present. All right, let's start with the announcements. I'd like to begin this meeting with a moment of silence for John Lyons, who passed away on September 29th. John was part of a generation that we're very quickly losing, people who invested their time and energy in Boxborough and helped us grow into the town that we are today. So I hope the family doesn't mind. I have this awesome memory of John. My best friend Krista grew up next to the Lyons family, and our parents were older, and I just thought the Lyons family was the coolest family ever. And then in 1977, Smokey and the Bandit hit the theaters. I don't know how I got to see it, because my Catholic parents, that would not have been on their list of allowed movies to see, but somehow I did. And 10-year-old Kristen sitting in that movie thought that Burt Reynolds looked just like Mr. Lyons. So in my head, the Lyons family had celebrities for parents. Like they were just the coolest thing ever. John was a selectman with my father, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe John, Gene Kangas, and my fathers all served together on the board, and they called themselves the good, the bad, and the ugly. And they used to joke about who was what. So I do have very strong feelings about this, and my sympathies go to the family. It was a beautiful obituary, whomever wrote it. Thank you for sharing all that. And again, I'd like to begin the meeting with a moment of silence. All right, thank you. All right, announcements. Fall town meeting is set for Monday, November 6th at 7 p.m. at the Blanchard Memorial School. There are 15 articles in this year's warrant. Households should have their hard copies delivered to their mailboxes starting on Friday. Get your warrant, read them, prepare your questions, and please come and participate. A special gardening seminar honoring Gene Kangas will be held after Freebies Full Community Market on October 21st from 11:45 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the Grange Room at Boxborough Town Hall. For more information, please visit www.daisyhillfarm.us. I'm going to say it again just in case anyone didn't hear it. www.daisyhillfarm.us. The select board will hold a public hearing at our next meeting for the FY24 tax classification on October 24th at 7 p.m. For more information, please visit the town's website front page. Halloween is just around the corner. I'm sure you're all getting ready. Lots of decorations up in town if you have time to drive around and take a peek. The Boxborough Fire and Police Department welcomes the community to join them for their annual truck or treat on Sunday, October 29th from 10 to noon at the Boxborough Fire Station. Kids are welcome to wear their costumes. No toy weapons, please. Sorry, all you Star Wars kids, gotta leave those lightsabers at home. The community will be allowed to explore each of our vehicles and take pictures along the way. Any questions can be directed to Captain Jason Malinowski at jmalinowski@boxborough-ma.gov. Now you can also find, I'm not gonna spell Malinowski, but you can find that online also if you visit the fire department's page. The Boxborough Fire and Police Department are currently accepting applications for full-time firefighter, EMT, and police officers. Please visit the town's webpage under employment opportunities for more details. Invitation for bids for the Steel Farmhouse. Roof and chimney repair are underway until tomorrow morning. Bids can be turned into the Town Administrator Support Office. There's more information on the town website's front page, but hurry because bids close at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Does anybody else on the board have an announcement of any sort?
I would mention that I had my first office hours and I had a couple of people come by. I wasn't sure if I was going to be sitting there in the Morse Hilberg room by myself for an hour, but actually I spent an hour and a half talking to a couple of the residents. And we talked about, a number of issues, including, town hall office hours, signs causing blind spots, methods of providing feedback and suggestions that's not on the web, and the steel farm bond. So I'll be just talking about that with various people as time goes on, and then
Nice.
maybe come to make proposals at the meeting.
Nice. Well, so do you want to remind people when office hours are? The
Um,
next one?
Well, the next one would be, it's the first Wednesday of the month, and it is 10 to 11, which is right after my monthly meeting with Mike Johns. So,
Look it up.
but I'm actually, I'm open to other ideas. So if there's somebody who would want to talk with me and could not make that time, I can be flexible. So.
Okay. So the first Wednesday of November is November 1st. You said
Okay,
first Wednesday of the
yeah,
month.
yeah,
I just figured I'd look it up.
yeah, that's good.
Awesome. Any other report or update from you?
Not at this time.
All right. Priya, do you have any reports or updates?
No, not now.
Wes, do you have any reports or updates?
No.
Okay, I have two. One is actually Priya and I went to a great Mass Municipal Association program held, was it a week ago Friday, Priya?
Not last Friday, the Friday before. Yeah.
It was great. Really great speakers about communicating with the public. It was all women, and there was one man in the audience. Really, really interesting to see what different communities are dealing with. And, Boxford is absolutely not unique right now. Lots going on. So I got a lot out of it, enough so that I've signed up for 3 more seminars, all about communicating with the public. Really, really useful information. So, okay, then the other thing is, when I was reading through the packet and reviewing the minutes, we were remiss. Cindy Markowitz at the last public input had requested that we put the EDC appointments back on the agenda for reconsideration. Unfortunately, I did not remember that, and it didn't until I saw the minutes. So we will be doing that, because we did say that during public input, if there wasn't time to discuss something, it could be placed in a future agenda. So Mike and I chatted, it will go on the agenda at our next meeting. And that's all I've got for reports and updates. All right.
I have a question from Mike. We have contractors going in and checking out the steel farm house. What about the ice house? Is that also being looked at?
That hasn't been put out to bid yet.
Okay.
So that's something that will be looked at, but we haven't gotten to that process started much later than the steel farmhouse itself.
Okay. All right, thanks.
Okay. All right, the next thing on our agenda, how we doing?
I have a couple of announcements.
Oh, I'm
this time. That's all right.
He's supposed to poke me when I forget this.
So first off, a little later in the agenda, we have Officer Zachary Stillman on there. He won't be coming in tonight for 2 reasons. One, he's going to be on vacation this evening and he was going to Zoom in, but I said, rather than coming in on vacation and Zooming, why don't you come in person while you're on duty? So at one of our next meetings, he'll come in. Reason we mention him is because he just graduated from the police academy. We're very proud of him. He was one of our dispatchers. Now he's one of our patrol officers. In addition to graduating this past week, he also won the top physical fitness award for his class. So we're very proud of him and his accomplishments. He's already been appointed and sworn in, but we'll bring him in to meet the public at either the next meeting or the meeting after that when he's on duty.
Very exciting. Good for him.
Yeah.
Good
And
to see.
we've been talking for a while about body cameras. We did get a grant for those. As well as we also budgeted some money for the storage for those cameras. And I just want to announce that those body cameras are completely online at this point as of yesterday. Next thing I want to just mention what a great job that Topeka and Pijon and the library staff and the town did, as well as the Council on Aging in providing transportation for our seniors to get to Diwali Fest this past Sunday. It was a wonderful event. And I'm told that there were over 2,500 participants, which is more than double the number of people that participated last year, which I believe was the first year. So that's a phenomenal event, widely supported by the community and widely attended. So I enjoyed my time there. I brought my wife and we had a wonderful time.
Actually, Pishon sent a beautiful email complimenting all of the department heads, everybody who participated in health, and it got circulated, but really, really nice.
Yeah, among the supporters of those was Council on Aging with Transportation, Police and Fire, of course, supported it, DPW, Library, and I'm sure others that I'm forgetting, but it really a great community event.
Yeah.
Next, I just want to mention that the United Church of Christ across the street will be doing their annual silent auction, and they've reached out to the town and asked if we would again do silent auction of rides in a fire truck and in a police cruiser. I have approved that. The two chiefs have approved that. And so we're happy to support that. The money does not go to the church. It actually, they're raising money and the money goes back into the freebie market and the food pantry. So good cause is a great community event that I understand has been supported for years, and we're proud to support it again this year. And about a month from now, I think it's on a Saturday, we'll have Veterans Day. So more to come on that. I know we'll be looking for volunteers to help support that. I think our Veterans Tribute Committee is dwindling down in numbers. That may be something that we want to look at appointments to that committee in the future. Last thing I wanted to mention was the select board packet, which has gotten a lot of action lately, more than I care to see, because honestly, the select board packet is an administrative tool for the select board and administration to use to prepare the board for their deliberations and voting at meetings. And it's not really supposed to be a public forum or a place where people can post their opinions to or about the board or others. It really is an administrative tool to prepare the board for doing the town's business. That's been something that has kind of bothered me, the way that the town handles that for the last 11 months. And I brought it up, a while back, and I brought it up more recently, that I think we need to keep it to the business of administration and the select board. I did reach out because I was questioned on that move, whether that's okay to do. And so I did reach out for a legal opinion, and there is no requirement for public input to be put into the packet, nor does the select board packet have to be published at all. That's really a tool between administration and the select board. I am not suggesting that we take that away from the public. That's something the public is used to seeing, but I'm just, saying that council's advice is that is not a public forum, nor is it something that has to be, shared with the public. Anyways, that's all I have for this evening.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Actually, that sends us beautifully into the next agenda item. So this board has been sitting here for about 5 months now, getting our feet underneath, listening, learning, trying to figure out how we're going to forge, this board's process and procedures. So what I did is kind of take everybody into consideration and then did some homework. I pulled out, again, the select board operations policy. I pulled out a Robert's Rules of Order cheat sheet, which is pretty fun. And I also surfed around looking at other town select board pages on their websites, just to kind of get an idea of how other towns are managing these things. So I did put together, you guys, Priya and Wes, we emailed it to you. Dave is a copy here of just kind of how I pulled it all together so we can open it up and have a good discussion. So to set the stage, in Massachusetts, the select board is the chief executive branch of towns that follow the open meeting form of government, which is what we do. So that's why we're all here. The basic function of a select board consists of calling town meetings, proposing budgets to the town meeting, setting public policy, calling elections, licensing, setting certain fees, overseeing certain volunteer and appointed bodies, and creating basic regulations. Now, this came from the MMA. Again, out there doing my research. In Boxborough, we have a strong town administrator who works with our department heads to gather information necessary for the select board to make decisions on behalf of the town. He's also, as a strong TA, allowed to make decisions such as, working with the strong fire chief and the strong police chief, to coordinate with the community event. So those are all things that we put together. Now, as I was reading the select board operations policy, and do remember that, Diana Lapari asked that we look at it and rewrite it, work it through. We do have some changes to make because we have a strong TA now. When it was written, and I believe it was 2019, approved in September 2019, we had a different form of administration. So yes, not only, had we already promised to do that, but we need to do it because it doesn't quite fit all of our needs right now. In the meantime, this is, the packet. Now, this is copied directly from the select board operations policy. The meeting packet includes all backup data, pertinent information, or outline for discussion that accompanies subject matters or items that appear in the agenda. Mike has kind of already spoken to that, on what is mandatory and what's at the discretion of the board. Technically, it's at the discretion of the chair. I am not comfortable making those decisions unilaterally. This is a board of selectmen. It is not the chair's show. So that's one of the reasons that I wanted to bring this to the group to discuss tonight, with the board. The meeting, copied directly from the select board operations policy. Meetings are to be conducted in accordance with generally accepted rules of parliamentary procedure. Now, Robert's Rules of Order is parliamentary procedure. It's one way of doing it. Back to the quotes. It is the accepted practice that the application of such procedures be on a relatively informal basis due to the size of the group and the desires of flexibility in the expression of opinion. So it's pretty much what we've been trying to do. And now, when I was reading Robert's rules, one of the reasons for having parliamentary procedure is it makes everybody comfortable. I understand that I am a casual person. I am a conversational person. I am comfortable wending off the winding path. A lot of people aren't. And so that's something that by following procedures, people know what to expect, how to expect it, what's going to happen when, and so that everybody can feel comfortable, participating in the meeting. Public input. I keep writing this in bold, also copied directly from our operations policy. It is the policy of the Board of Selectmen to set aside 15 minutes at the beginning of each meeting for public participation, time permitting. Public wishing to speak must follow the rules and directions of the chair so as not to interrupt business on the scheduled agenda. The purpose of public participation shall be to afford the general public an opportunity to ask questions on an ongoing basis. If a citizen has a problem or a question which will require action or is likely to take more than 15 minutes, the citizen should request to be placed on the agenda for a future meeting. Now, we have to kind of factor in open meeting law. We can talk about policies and procedures, but if somebody has a direct question that requires action or deliberation by the board, and it's not on the agenda, we actually can't talk about it. So again, we're trying to pull all of these things together. All right, back to the quotes. All select board meetings are open to the public. If time permits, the chair may recognize residents to comment or question on matters under consideration by the board. In the event that the board has sufficient time to accommodate resident comments, residents will be limited to no more than 2 minutes per person. Now, my interpretation of this paragraph is it pertains to agenda items. It doesn't apply to public input. It's 2 minutes on agenda items if there is time to have that discussion. So I bring this to the board for discussion because I want your input. And I would call this a suggested practices. And this is what I want to understand how the rest of the board would like to move forward. I think the package should contain only pertinent information relevant to the business of the town. What is or is not included in the packet will be determined by the chair and the town administrator during preparation of the agenda. Now, Mike, Ray John, and Kelly and I have a set time the Wednesday before select board meetings to sit down. They go through everything with me, make sure that I understand what's happening, what research has to be done, what has to be discussed. That's when we set the agenda. Sometimes things get changed up a little bit, but in general, we do that the Wednesday before the select board meeting. All right, now these are my ideas. Public input shall be taken at the beginning of each meeting. And then I wrote 30 minutes allocated on the agenda. The number of minutes we allocate is completely up for discussion tonight. People who wish to speak will be asked to raise their hand at the beginning of public input so everybody can be recognized. So if you want to speak, you raise your hand. The assistant TA, so Ray John or Kelly will make a list of the people who want to speak. All attempts will be made to alternate between people physically in the audience and those attending by Zoom, just to break it up. Each person will have 3 uninterrupted minutes to speak to the board. Now the 3 came from our last meeting where Wes, Dave, and Priya all expressed concern that 2 is too short, which I was taking from the other. And 3 seemed appropriate. So that's up for discussion. All of this is up for discussion. If questions are asked, the board will do its best to answer in real time if it's appropriate or allowable, or the topic can be referred to a future meeting and placed on the agenda if the speaker so desires. I think it's important that if during public input, someone says, I want this to go on the agenda, or I think that I suggest, whatever the words are, I think that person should follow up with Mike and, and formalize it so that by the time we meet, it's already in place and we have a plan. Each person will be allowed to speak once per meeting. And again, this is about managing time and energy. A timer will be shown on the Zoom screen. Everyone will be asked to be respectful of their allotted time. So, everyone will be able to see the timer. They'll know when their time is up. They don't have to be interrupted with 10 seconds, which I know can cause anxiety. If more people wish to speak than time is allowed for on the agenda at the beginning of the meeting, public input will be continued to the end of the meeting to allow for the board to adhere to the agenda timeline. This is out of courtesy to those who have been assigned times to meet with the board and to allow for the work of time to be completed in a timely manner for everybody. It also will ensure by promising that we'll pick it up at the end of the meeting that anybody who wants an opportunity to speak will have that opportunity. Okay, did y'all get all that? So I'd like to open it up to the board for discussion.
Kristen, I have one question.
Good, Priya.
In terms of the last one that you read, like we will have, if there are more people who wish to speak, we'll take them towards the end. So I just want to make sure that, if we do have more people, then we can take them to the end. But but everybody is given 3 minutes, even at that time, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
Okay.
all of them stay the same. That's why
Okay.
I wasn't sure. Again, the previous procedure said 15 minutes. Do we just plan allow for more? Because we do have a lot of people who like to speak. And then how do we make sure everyone has a chance? So no matter what, everyone gets one shot, and this is my idea, in 3 minutes.
Okay.
So did you just say everyone gets one shot? Is that?
Yeah,
that in the-
well, again, this is my idea, that each person will be allowed to speak once per meeting.
Okay. Oh, I see.
And they'll get
Yep.
3 uninterrupted minutes. We'll bounce back and forth between in-person and Zoom and make it fair for everybody.
No, Kristen, I'm sorry, Madam Chair, I agree with
No,
what
it's
you've got
fine.
here.
We're informal.
I think this makes sense. I think part of what can extend the meeting, though, are those agenda items that when you ask, does anybody have any opinion? And then it's like 5 people might have a 2-minute opinion. So I guess that's up to the chair as to whether that's going to be used. But as far as making sure that people have an opportunity, I think this is reasonable and fair.
And
Back to that, again, I want people to be able to be heard. I like to have conversations. I've said it before. This is a really, a smart group of people, and the people that take the time to show up. If we are working on an agenda item and they have something to add, I don't want to cut people off. How do I know that cut people off meaning not give them a chance? How do I know that person that doesn't get recognized doesn't have the most salient input to the discussion? So I understand. I have heard it loud and clear. The meetings go on too long. I've been told they're painful because I let people talk and I let people talk too long. So again, I'm trying to marry all of the input that we have received over time. So I'm going to ask, I've been talking to Mike about making sure we do allow enough discussion in the agenda for things that we think will take longer. But I do take that to heart, Dave, that the meetings.
In a good way.
It's all good. It's all constructive criticism.
Yeah.
It's all constructive. Yeah, it's all good. Wes, what do you think?
So in my experience, you have 2 separate things, which I think you're trying to address here. One is just the general public input, and then the second one is per topic public input. Personally, and I've seen this be done at some of the school committee meetings, especially when you have heated topics such as removing the school mascot and other things. And by the way, that still comes up. And but what I've seen them do, I think fairly well, is they look at how many people are in the audience and how many people are wish to speak, and then based on that number, if there's like just 3 people that wish to speak, then they say, okay, you can have 5 minutes, because then that's 15 minutes. But if there's 20 people, and you, not necessarily saying that everybody's going to repeat each other, but if there's 20 people, you can say, okay, we'll give everybody 2 minutes, just because there's so many people, and add a section at the end, just as you proposed. But some of the flexibility, I think, may, at least at a minimum, give the appearance of caring about what people like want to say, and that we're trying to get as many different voices as possible to be heard. In terms of the comments regarding agenda items, I would be more hesitant to limit those during the discussion, because or at least the number of them. I can understand not allowing like a second one unless it's new information that has not been brought forward, like saying like, oh, do you have something new to add that hasn't been addressed yet, or something along those lines. But yeah. And most of the time, most of the meetings, nobody really comes or comments. It's really only when people
Feel strongly about something.
Sure, that's one way to put it.
Okay.
But I just also want to make sure that we're not over regulating for something that is going to occur infrequently.
Yeah, like I said, I've been taking a lot of input for the last several months and just trying to synthesize all of it into what I feel kind of addresses everybody's concerns that have been brought to me anyway. Both select board members and the public and the staff. I mean, one of the things I'm very sensitive to is staff members leaving here at midnight and having to drive home to their families. And, we all have 5 minutes to drive, or you're Zooming. Anyway, long story short, just pulling it all in and making it more reasonable for everybody. All right. I hear what you're saying, Wes. Wes, are you open to just trying this? Again, I understand it's my purview, but would you be open to be trying the 3 minutes and the 2 minutes, and we'll see how it goes, with the understanding that, I can certainly say things like, do you have anything new to add? Like for the agenda items, do you have anything new to add? And if somebody just wants to say, no, I agree with Dave, I'm okay with saying that as long as they don't repeat themselves, like finding tactful ways to manage that piece of it. Does that make sense, Wes?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. At the end of the day, it's your decision. So.
Well, I care what the board feels, because like I said, this isn't the Kristen Hilberg show. We are a select board of 4 members.
But it is, because the board voted it to be the select Kristen Hilberg show.
That's not
like
fair.
That's literally why they vote. Why we vote for the chair.
Nobody likes the Kristen show, so now we have rules. Everybody hates the Kristen show. All right. I think we've got it down then.
So,
okay.
So like, just for clarity, so this, as you've written it up, goes where? This gets documented in something, or
No, I'll
we
just
this is just okay.
Yeah,
This
I mean, we
is,
do need to redo.
This is Kristen's way of getting input for how she runs the meetings, is
Thank
my
you.
understanding.
Okay.
I want community input. That's right. Select board input. Yes, exactly. All right. So what my plan will be that beginning of public input, we'll just remind everyone of how we're going to manage it. And to Wes's point, sometimes there's nobody, sometimes there's 15 people. We're going to keep to the 3 minutes, because I heard it loud and clear that people felt that they needed at least 3 minutes to get their feelings out there and their thoughts. And we will continue to the end of the meeting if we go past our allotted time. All right. So for tonight on our agenda, we allotted public input from 7:30 until 8 o'clock. How are we doing?
Just about.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. So to follow the rules, if you would like to contribute to public input, I'd like you to raise your hand, and Rajan is just going to make a list of people, and we're going to bounce between in-person and Zoom. Oh, gosh. Okay, Zoomers, we can't see you right now. Give us a second. All right, you're
So
back. Zoomers, if you
or
would like to speak during
Francie's hand
public
is
input,
raised.
please raise your hand.
Francie has a hand up.
I got
I can see
Oh,
it.
okay,
Francie, Becky.
so we have George, Francie, Becky. Anybody else? Hands up, because we're gonna make the list now.
Cindy,
Mark White and Cindy.
Mark,
Okay,
Cindy. That is, looks like.
all right,
No.
awesome. Now, can everybody?
And Mark Barbadaro. has his
Okay,
hand up.
there's four people,
Mark,
four
yeah.
Zoomers across the top
Okay.
and two people. Oh, and Bob, okay. Did you get that? Three people here? Two people here, four people there. All righty. Since we have more Zoomers, we'll start with Francie. Now, Francie, can you see the timer?
Not yet. I did earlier. I don't know where it's gone. Oh, there it is.
We are still working
have
on the bugs. This is so nobody has to say 10-second warning and make people lose their train of thought.
Yeah, oops, it keeps disappearing. All right, I got it.
We're working on the bugs. Everyone be patient.
It's gone. Okay. I just have a question. I'm just curious to know if someone comes with a concern but does not have a specific action or recommendation they're making, what happens to that comment? Someone says, I'm concerned about XYZ, and tells you why, then, and 3 minutes is up. What happens to that information that you receive?
Okay, so the board would have heard it, and I'll say something like, thank you so much. We'll take this into consideration. If it is something that you're technically asking us to take action on, for us to discuss it, it has to go on a future agenda. Like say you say, people are speeding down, I'm gonna pick this out of nowhere, not even our job. People are speeding down Hill Road and I think there should be something done to stop it. We can't agree with you, disagree with you, have a discussion about it, but we can say, okay, great, this is an action item we can put on a future agenda. We can ask the police chief to come in and we can talk about solutions to the problem. But yeah, I mean, essentially we can't discuss it with you. We can't discuss it with each other unless it's a policy or a procedure kind of a thing. Mike, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, could I pipe in on that
Please
one?
do.
Yes, so in that case where that could be both a policy or an operational
I picked a
decision.
bad example.
So no, actually, that's a great example because if it's an operations thing, the board can kick that right to me and say, Mike, could you look into that? Because it might be enforcement. So if it's that the speed limit isn't being enforced, I can go talk to the chief. Hey, can we put some patrol out there and look into it? That's something we can easily do at that time. If it's a policy issue, like, people are going, 35 and the speed limit's 35 and people want to drop it to 25. Well, you as the road commissioners, you have to have a policy discussion. Then we have to go ahead and do a survey. So there's more involved. That would be a future agenda item. So that's actually a great example.
Francie, does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think that if you decide not to talk about it and put it on your agenda, it's going to be up to the person who brings that forward to come back to you and ask you to do that.
Yeah, I think to me, it just makes sense. Like I accidentally, missed Cindy's request that, EDC appointments go onto the agenda. I didn't see it until I read the minutes. And so, yes, I kind of feel like if you want something on the agenda, take that next step. You took the time to come here and talk to us, take the next step, call Mike, send him an email and say, hey, I'm serious. I want XYZ on the agenda for the next meeting. And that way we won't drop any balls because we are all human.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. And my feeling is Francie asked a question and and because they're talking about it, it was appropriate to answer it. Mike?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, who's next? Raise your hand.
Will I talk now?
Yeah, come on up. Yeah, you do have to go to the
have to go to
microphone,
the
sorry. Or we can pass the microphone around. You audience get to decide.
So I just perused the notes from your last meeting, and I listened to your comments tonight. And I think, at least in perusing the notes, and as well as your comments, there seems to be some lack of clarity as to who's part of the meeting. To my way of thinking, the 4 members of the select board are the meeting, right? And Robert's rules apply to those people. And the open meeting law allows us to be spectators. And because you like to get some public input, you welcome that. But then I read some indications in the notes where some folks seem to feel like, well, they had the right to speak and so on and so forth. And it appeared like it could easily get out of control. And so I guess my concern is that, or perhaps my recommendation is that you would clearly indicate to people that, we're inviting some comment, but you're not part of the you're not part of the conversation. We're only listening to your comment. You're really not part of the deliberations. I think that some clarity is needed in that respect, at least from my reading of the last meeting, and perhaps some ambiguity in your comments this evening. So that's not intended as a criticism. I hope you recognize that. It's simply, yeah, because everyone should be clear that you can cut it off anytime you want to, because that's your prerogative, not during the 30 minutes that you allow for general concerns, but when it's as Wes said, when it's specific to an issue that's on the agenda. I think it would be helpful if you were clear that, okay, we've heard enough, we can stop, or recognize that we can stop you anytime. That's really all I have to say. Thanks.
Yep. So my suggested practices were for public input, like that. So yes. And again, the policies do say residents will be limited to no more than 2 minutes per, and the chair does have the right to manage the conversation. Mike, so you have to add.
Yeah, and we haven't met you. Your name is George?
Yeah,
George, I'm Mike. Nice to meet you. Your comments, I think, are right on track. This is the board's meeting. And that's why at the beginning I was talking about that select board packet really is designed so that administration can put things in front of the board to further give them information so they can have a healthy deliberation, discussion, and then vote. But your comments are right on the point. This is their meeting. And when the chair recognizes someone to speak, she's inviting someone to give comments, but they're not part of the deliberation and the debate, the back and forth, especially, as Kristen pointed out, when you're taking public input, you're giving somebody their 3 minutes, they're welcome to share comment. Later on in the meeting, when it gets to agenda items, if the chair recognizes someone to speak, again, it's up to the chair's discretion, but she can give somebody a chance to share comment, but it's not a back and forth. It's not deliberation. They don't then become part of the board, just like I don't become part of the board. There are only 4 board members. Yeah. And so I think your point is well received by myself anyways. Thank you.
And please know, I accept, Dave said a similar thing. It's constructive criticism, and that is a personality feature of me that I like to have conversations. I understand that when I'm sitting behind here, it's a different situation, and I'm having a conversation now. See, I'm doing it wrong already. Okay.
See what you've done, George.
See what you've done, George? That's right.
No,
All right, let's go. Who's next? Cindy.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate the opportunity to speak. Kristen, it wasn't 100% clear to me exactly what parameters you were putting. I didn't see a document shown on the screen. Hopefully that will be a document that's provided in the next packet. I didn't understand exactly what the rules that you were laying out were. So that would be helpful to have that information going forward. I do appreciate that you are going to take up the reconsideration of the EDC appointments at your next meeting, you indicated. So thank you for considering that, given all the input you have received about the various candidates. I would appreciate that the board do take that up again. And finally, I think regarding just general public input, there's a couple of issues here. One is the handling of correspondence that you receive. I think to Francie's question, how does the public know that the correspondence has been received? Will they get a response from one or more select board members or the town administrator? And 2, I think, the question a little bit still about how will you address if there are grievances voiced, how is that going to be addressed? Because right now it feels that there's no policy in place. There's no understanding on the part of the public. We might get an answer, we might not get an answer. So I'd like you to perhaps expand on how the board will address either grievances or concerns in the future, and also how you want to deal with public correspondence. Correspondence is public record once you receive it. And other than public record requests, which seem to overwhelm the town clerk's office oftentimes, is there a mechanism you guys can come up with to make a correspondence available to the residents? I think it's important. People are taking a lot of time to be thoughtful and provide comments and input. So I'd like to hear from you folks as to how you might handle that type of correspondence. So thank you very much. I did that in 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Thanks.
Way to go. Way to go. All right. The first one you would ask, how do people know if emails are received? Either Mike or I.
Point of order, Kristen.
There's no point of order in a select board meeting. Only members can call a point of order.
No, I just want to know, should we be answering this right now? In terms of how you are, are we expected to answer for each one of them, even though it's not in the agenda? The correspondence is dealing with that. Do we want to discuss that? How do you want to do it? I'm just asking.
I'm going to answer the simple question, which is that usually Mike or I say thank you in some way, shape, or form, so you know that your email didn't go into the abyss. And then I was going to suggest that how to address grievances and concerns be put on a future agenda. What do you think?
Okay, perfect. Okay, no,
Sorry, Priya, I didn't know it was you saying point of order. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Okay, then I think we handle those two things. And who's next? Oh, I'm sorry, Mike.
On your discussion or coming back to the discussion on EDC appointments, is it possible to do that after town meeting? Because we've already kept some people from getting on to the next meeting because it's very, very full. And then the meeting after that is November 6th. That's the one right before town meeting. So November 13th, I would suggest might be a good time to take up this reconsideration. Just for your thoughts.
I think that's appropriate. I mean, the next meeting has to be town meeting preparation.
Right.
So I think that's appropriate.
And the 6th is going to be getting in order for speaking on the motions for town meeting. I think the 13th, you could probably have your best discussion.
Okay, no, that's good input. Thank you. Yeah, and I think there's only one meeting of the EDC between now and then anyway. So it's not like a lot is happening right now, right?
Not sure.
Yeah, pretty sure there's only, we only meet one. Okay, so we'll see you then. All right. Who's up next, Ray John?
I guess me. First, I would like to start by saying thank you for all you've done for the town. The town is in a much better place than it was 6 months ago. I'm only sorry I'm just now speaking up. Ever since the election in May, you have been insulted and bullied by 4 or 5 of the same people over and over. At every meeting and through emails, they let you know that they think you're doing a terrible job. They think if they just keep saying the same thing over and over and more forcefully, they will beat you down. They have weaponized the records request law and the open meeting law. These 4 or 5 people are bullies. I believe the silent majority of people in town think you're doing a terrific job. Please, people don't usually speak up if they are happy. So thank you and stay strong.
Thanks, Becky. All right, who's up next, Ray John? Mark. Which Mark? Mark Barbadero.
Thanks. I just want to respond to the accusation that there is 4 bullies in town. I would agree. There was 4 bullies in town that actually bullied Jen Campbell literally off the select board, who had to leave because of health implications from the bullying that was taking place. You all know this is true. You all know that.
I'm so sorry. Kelly, can you pause?
Excuse me, do I have my?
Oh, no, that we're having technical difficulties. We can only get like every other word, and I want to make sure you get your full time.
I appreciate that. Why
Are
don't you
we okay?
It's his. It's his.
Oh, it's his end.
Mark, can you speak closer to the microphone, see if that helps?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Back up
So
15 seconds.
So I think that everyone should be well aware of the fact that there are, in fact, 4 bullies in town. Those 4 bullies literally bullied Jen Campbell off the select board. You all know this to be true. She said she had to leave for her health. And if you think we're in a much better place, you are listening to the chair of a political action committee. 75% of this board has decided to request the support of that political action committee. It is divisive, it is dangerous, and it has divided this town up. It's a terrible thing to do. I just want you to know that the way this board has been acting lately is terrible. I went to volunteer to get on a board. I was bullied and badgered and insulted and character assassination for 25 straight minutes. And then they let the other two people go on without asking them a question. Dave McKiernan told me he had already decided my fate before those 25 grueling minutes took place. I'm sure Priya did the same. I actually think Kristen did as well. And she just simply voted for me after berating me, after embarrassing me, after exaggerating my things that I had done wrong. I am just beside myself. I don't know how to make amends. I'm asking that Kristen resign as the chair of this board, not the select board itself, but perhaps you should get someone else to be the chair if you're figuring this out now. The select board has had a history of using a clock to limit discussion, to limit dissent. It has been horrible what has been done, and it's continuing. You're just trying to find new and creative ways to make sure that people don't come forward with complaints against you. And absolutely do not keep on doing what you are doing. Listen to people who disagree with you. Don't just listen to your political group. It's wrong. Thank you very much. And you have 30 seconds back, Kristen.
You didn't ask any questions, so yeah, so we're going to move on to the next person. Who's next? All right. Oh, Robin, go ahead.
Thanks. Can you hear me?
We can, yep.
Oh, that's great. Okay. I'd like to formally request that the board consider the issue of traffic on Hill Road for a future agenda item, to the extent that these particular issues are within your purview. For example, Hill Road used as a cut through whenever there's an accident on 495. Bumper to bumper traffic can't get out of the driveway. School buses, cars, trucks lined up. And I think, I don't know what can be done, but I'm just requesting that you look at it. The other thing is speeding on Hill Road. I think I would like the board and whomever else has jurisdiction over this to consider seasonal rubber speed bumps that can be removed during snow season to perhaps limit the speed of traffic that goes on Hill Road. There are plenty of people who walk their dogs. Luckily, we haven't had, to my knowledge, an accident, but with this combination, it's, a danger. I have brought this to the attention of the police chief, but to the extent that there's certain aspects of this within your jurisdiction, I would appreciate it if you can include it in a future agenda item for discussion. So thank you very much.
Robin and I did not talk previously.
Robin and I did. Actually, yes.
Ah.
Yeah. We actually spoke at Liberty Fields ribbon cutting, and she brought it to my attention, and I asked her to also touch base with the chief, which she did right afterwards. So following this, I will follow up again with the chief, because I haven't connected with the chief on this topic since Robin and the chief spoke. But where she brought up the part about the removable rubber speed bumps, I'll also include the DPW director in that conversation and get back to the board and Robin. Robin, if you could send me your contact, either email or whatever, how I contact you back after I touch base with those two department heads.
Sure. Thank you.
In all seriousness, I walked my dog before I came here. That's the only reason I brought it up. Well, who knew?
I'd like to add to that during the Complete Streets meeting that we had with the town planner, that was a topic of discussion. So I'm waiting to see the report that was going to, that would come from Alec as how to address that Hill Road speeding and the waste traffic.
I would argue Liberty Square might fall, well, maybe not. I know it's a wider double yellow line road, but Liberty Square is awfully speedy also. I don't know a lot about the other side of 111 because I don't travel over there, but maybe the police can offer some insight onto any other roadways that are experiencing the same kind of issues. Thanks. All right, who's next? Mark White. Oh, wait, is there anybody else sitting here? Because we're bouncing. All right, Mark White.
Hi, can you hear me?
I guess.
Okay, thanks. I just want to say, first, I'm okay with 2 minutes. I can make it. Despite some criticisms I have heard made leveled against this board, I just want to thank this select board for the work that you're doing and the job you've done to date. This board has tried mightily to air out the issues before it, despite a lot
You froze.
of
You're frozen.
pushback about it. In contrast to prior boards that have refused to discuss the issues of, still frozen?
Go back up 15 seconds because you froze.
Okay, despite some recent criticisms I've heard made leveled against this board, I think this board has tried to air out the issues before it. And in contrast to prior boards that
That's it. He's gone.
Oh, gosh, he's gone.
I think he's lost connection.
He lost his connection. Well, if he dials back in, we'll give him his remaining 2 million.
And if
2
he
minutes.
does, maybe ask him to take the picture off and maybe he'll get a better connection by voice.
Yeah, yeah.
Hillary.
Okay, Hillary.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yep, before you start, thank you for all the work on the playground. Nice job to you and the rec-com.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad everyone's enjoying it. I just also want to say thank you to the board for being very open. Kristen, you allowed the rec-com, Megan and I, to meet with you about some concerns we had, and that was very appreciative to hear those and help us with that. But I also want to echo Robin's concerns about Hill Road, and that's been an issue for quite some time. I know in the past, at the corner of Hill Road and 111, close to the 495, the police would put up, I think a few years ago, signs saying like, can't pass through or something like that. So maybe that's yeah, maybe that's something else to consider. And then also Liberty Square Road, which was also mentioned. I did ask Alex to look into that because now with Liberty, having all the courts and playground and so forth, there's a lot of families that live across the street there and they've been crossing back and forth. So he's going to take that up at Complete Streets in the future.
Great.
And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you for your input. Is there anybody else? Because we still, what?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
So, in preface, first off, Kirby Dolak, Littleton, Massachusetts, LCTV, BXB-TV. During the night of, I think, September 8th, Boxborough experienced some rather nasty storms. The recipient of the overvoltage was the room where I broadcast from. We engaged Key Code Media to assess the damages, and they came back with about $10,000 worth of materials that need to be replaced. Thanks to Rajan, he put a claim in with MIA and the casualty folks. Yeah, I believe that's correct. And thanks to Key Code Media, they gave us the assessment of what was to be replaced and repaired. That report was submitted this morning. I had a phone call from an Edward Grady this afternoon, and he said, Curb, minus the deductible the town needs to pay, the check's in the mail. So I'm here to present to the select board
Oh, my goodness.
a small check, not one that the executive or legislators would give you, for $12,000. And that is to cover part of the equipment. And we'll be working with Rajan to order the gear that's necessary. But we're hopeful that we can put the house back in order and Humpty Dumpty can finally be happy. So
Well,
thank you to you and the group.
Well, no, thank you to you to getting all that work done. Thank you to MIA Property and Casualty for honoring their insurance. Thank you, Ray John, for pulling this all together. Okay.
Thank you.
$1,655. We do not have to pull out of the reserve fund. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Rajan. Thanks, Kirby. Thanks, everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. Ray John, you were the one that had to,
Yeah, I had to essentially set up the claim and got Kirby connected to where we can essentially submit the claim and all the supporting information on like what was missed. Kirby took a large load of making sure that everything was documented and we had the quote, but I mean it was a team effort.
way to go, you guys. Thank you. It'd be nice to have all of our audio visual back on track. Okay. Is there anybody else who would like an opportunity to speak to the board? Oh, is he coming back in? Mark, you get 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Do you still want to speak? Actually, you probably get 2.5 minutes because the last 15 seconds or so you went out. You
Wow,
probably
that
wanna
was-
keep your
that was a
camera off
nightmare.
unless you're on Wi-Fi now.
So you guys went on so long that my phone ran out of juice. I figured I'd be out by 7:30.
It's not even 8 o'clock yet.
All right, I'm going to start from the top, okay? Despite some recent criticisms I've heard made leveled against this board, I just want to thank the select board for their work that they've been doing and have done to date. This board has tried mightily to air out the issues before it, in contrast to prior boards that have refused to discuss the issues sometimes at all. This has been made difficult for you, and I've watched it happen, and I really feel sorry for you, and I apologize. But I appreciate your efforts to clear the air and to make help Boxborough move forward. So please keep up the good work and know that the majority of people in the town of Boxborough support you in your efforts, not the noisy majority. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Okay, and guess what? 7:59. Let's move on to approval of the minutes. So we're looking at the regular session minutes of September 25th. Kelly, thank you for typing those all up. It must have taken you all day. Any comments about the minutes?
I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Excellent.
Did I have to say September?
What's
Was
that?
was it September 26th? I didn't say the date. I don't know if.
Yeah. Bria, you moved, Dave seconded. Is there any
Yeah.
further discussion? Yeah, very thorough. Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes as submitted, we'll do a roll call vote. Please say aye. Wes,
Folks, aye.
Priya,
Sundaram, aye.
Dave,
McKenna and I.
and Hildberg, aye. All right, again, thank you very much for pulling all that together. All right, new business, moving right along. So, unfortunately, we have to accept the resignation of Arden Veely from the Steel Farm Advisory Committee. He sent a very nice email or letter to Becky Harris. They are moving, which is why he needs to resign. We would like to take the opportunity to thank him, for all the years of service on Conscom, on the select board, on the Steel Farm Advisory Committee. So we will miss the Veely family. And again, thank you for your service. So I'm going to go ahead and does anyone else have another comment?
No, definitely. Thanks for all the service that they have provided.
All right, then I move to accept the resignation of Arden Beely from the Steel Farm Advisory Committee with a letter of thanks and appreciation for his services. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor, we'll do a roll call vote. Please say aye. Wes?
Aye.
Priya, you have to say your last name, sorry.
Folks, aye.
Thanks. Following the rules. Priya,
Sundaram, I.
Dave,
McCarron, aye.
and Hilberg, aye. All right, next, our next business is issuing a one-day common vic license for the Fall Festival at the Blanchard School. So the school has been having fall festivals and they would like to have food trucks on the premises. So they did come before the board. They've got 3 food trucks that they actually took from the Neshoba Board of Health list of vendors that already have their Board of Health certification licenses. Now they have to come to the board for the PTF needs to come to the board for the common victualers license. So does anybody have any, it was pretty straightforward. Does anybody have any questions about it? And I'm pretty sure I could probably answer them. Nobody even wants to know what they are. It's in your packet. The Grateful Dog from Air, Uncle Joey's Cannolis from Waltham, and Smoking Food Truck 51 from Leominster. Yeah, Uncle Joey's Cannolis. Anyway, all right. There's no further discussion. I move to approve a special one-day common victualers license for the Blanchard Memorial Schools PTF for the 2023 Fall Festival event on October 21st, 2023, between the hours of 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. with a rain date of October 22nd at the same time. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, one thing to note, this is a school event. It is not open to the public. But I'm sure you can go on Uncle Joey Cannoli's website and find out where they are other weekends of the year. So just a quick note, not a town event, it's a school event. Any other discussion? All righty then. Again, roll call vote. All in favor, please say aye. Wes?
Folks, aye.
Priya?
Sundaram, I.
Dave?
McCarron, aye.
And Hilberg, aye. Okay, our next action is a special one-day common vic license fee waiver, which we do for, town organizations. Mike, do you want to speak to that at all about waiving the fee and why we're waiving it?
I think, a lot of times, whether it's field use or or something like this, if it's supporting a school or town or youth sports program in town, that often if it's something that's within my jurisdiction, I will often consider waiving it. In this case, this is within the board's jurisdiction, and the board often considers waiving those and often does waive those fees.
All right. All right. Are there any further questions or discussion about waiving the fee?
So Mike, didn't we have a conversation before about this and about having it more procedural rather than coming in front of the board for that?
Well, that was for field use. So this is a little
Okay.
different. So common vic licenses and liquor licenses are always going to come to the board.
Okay.
Whereas field use, we've got to go back and revisit that policy. I'm going to bring something, more complete for you to, and then there is going to be some, a lot of that, I think you're going to be able to defer to administration to handle, the ones that are less controversial, a little more straightforward.
Okay, got it. Thanks for clarifying.
Any other discussion or questions? No. All righty, then I move to waive the special one-day common victualler license fee for the Blanchard Fall Festival event. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote. Please say, yeah, roll call vote. Wes?
Folks, aye.
Yeah.
Sundaram, I.
Dave?
McCarron, aye.
And Hilberg, aye. Have fun, kids. So, all right, our next action is supposed to be at 8:15 and it's 8:05. Just saying. All right, we're gonna be, it's the fall meeting notice for public and media release. Mike, do you want to speak to this at all? Like why this is a motion and why we're doing this?
Sure. I think that I'm happy to, but also we've got Dennis here.
Oh.
He prepared this, so he may want to speak to it.
Okay, step to the mic.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Thanks. Dennis Reep, town moderator. So this release is a traditional thing every town meeting. It's intended to go out just to inform voters, hey, town meeting's happening. Here's when. Here's where we can find out about it. Here's some of the items or articles that are going to be in the warrant and discussed at the meeting. In tradition, it is signed by the town moderator, the select board, and the town administrator. So I drafted it, shared it with Mike, shared it with the board in advance, just so since your name's on it, you review it, approve it. You want to add, subtract, edit, I'm fine with that. It's got three signature lines, so it should be a consensus here that this is the information we're going to put out.
And I did review and I'm ready to sign it. I know Dennis is, and then now it's up to the board.
So one of the things that came up to me was that in the past, the select board has organized or sponsored or whatnot, a food drive for the food pantry. And Wes, maybe you can speak to a little bit about this with your institutional knowledge.
Yeah, we typically collect stuff for the food pantry. I mean, or I guess, what are you looking for me from? I mean, people go to town meeting.
There was some question about who organizes it, who volunteers, who manages it, because it came up that it wasn't in here anymore, and I was like, oh, who does it? And then it came back, oh, the select board usually does. So I just
In
didn't
the
know
past, it was
how.
Cheryl that did it, but she just did that out of a desire and goodness, and so that was kind of just what happened in the past. And I mean, I've helped carry the stuff back after the meeting, but I mean, unless someone's really taking it on, I don't really see it necessarily being a town employee function, I guess. Like,
Also, another thing to consider is, I believe for the past 2 fiscal years, we've been donating ARPA money to the food pantry. So they have been receiving donations from us. It just hasn't been food. It's been funds.
Nice. All right. Oh, that's wonderful. Okay. Dennis, how do you feel about it? Would you like a food pantry food drive? Or?
Well,
It's your-
I understand that there's a tradition that precedes my service as moderator. So I have seen it in previous versions of this announcement. I can recall seeing it at town meeting in the past. I never understood who did it and what the logistics were. I suggest that if the select board is interested in continuing that tradition, it would be pretty easy to put the announcement in here. And then there's the logistics of, okay, what do you do to collect it? Do you set up some large, bins in the back that can be the receptacles with signs on them to say, put it there? And then, of course, there's the real work of physically moving whatever's collected to the food pantry. So again, that it would be the discretion of the board or the town administrator to assign select someone to volunteer or make it someone's job duty to follow through with that the next day.
Okay. What's
So
the board think?
Seems like it would be the responsibility of the people at the food pantry to, I mean, if we set it up and we have boxes, full of food, that they'd come and get it.
My office does one every year and we deliver. They don't have the volunteer resources. They don't have trucks. So we typically do deliver it. Yeah.
Your office, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, we do
Your
a big
office,
one
yeah.
every May. Bree and West, your thoughts?
No, I think it's a great idea. Like, I mean, we've been doing it, and I'm sure that we can get some volunteers to even drop off. And worst case scenario, I'll drop them off.
Awesome.
so I
There's
mean,
people in the audience
Yeah.
raising their hands, say they'll help. All right,
It's not,
take notes, take notes.
yeah, it's not really a matter of delivering it. It's more so the participation. So last town meeting, I don't even think we had a can or two that was donated. Or that's just from what I remember. We look out for it and we just didn't see it.
Let's
So it's just-
galvanize this. Let's do it. I mean,
So we're happy to continue the tradition.
yeah.
Maybe just needs to be advertised a little bit more.
Wes, what do you think? You haven't had a chance.
so I mean, I've worked in a few food pantries, and everyone I go to says the best donation is money, because food can spoil and take space, and when they have money, they're able to buy in bulk and get a lot of those discounts. And so it's very hard to, it's a lot easier to control quality of the food that we're actually giving to these people. Then, while donations are nice and they do reduce food waste, that's just my
Okay.
1 cent.
Well, I like the idea of continuing the tradition. I love the fact that ARPA funds go to it. I organized our food drive for 10 years at my office. So, Priya, if you'll jump in with me as the other and Hillary's got her hand up. If someone will jump in with me, let's try to galvanize it. What we do in my office is we actually got a list of what the food pantry wanted. And then we also publicized that dollar donations go further because they buy their food at the Boston Food Pantry. So we could advertise it both ways and provide a link, and they can do donations on behalf of the town meeting. So good point, Wes, that we can organize it that way. Hillary?
Hi, so we actually just got all the PTOs in Acton Boxer, just got a plea from the Acton Food Pantry for the need for some very specific items. So I can forward that along if that's helpful.
Awesome.
Okay.
I mean, the other thing that we could consider, I know, Dennis, we've gone way off topic, but I had extra minutes. We started early. What's that?
Yeah, so Kirby reminded me again of past practice that when Mike and I are going to record our preview thing tomorrow, that'll go on the BXB. And during that program, traditionally there would be the announcement that there'll be a food collection, and the specific items of interest that the food pantry had already described to us would be highlighted. So again, if there's a wish list, I think that may be much more targeted giving then at that point, and we can add that to the script for tomorrow if we actually know what it is in time.
Awesome.
We're taping it to 2:30 tomorrow.
Okay.
So
Hillary,
Hillary, if you email that to me, I'll forward it to Dennis. We'll get it in the script and we can put it out there on cable access. That'd be great.
Okay, we'll do.
Did they give you like a place you can donate money also, Hillary, or no? Or were they just looking for certain items?
No, they were, so for Blanchard, we're actually gonna put out a box at Fall Festival for this, and we're gonna advertise ahead of time for people to bring in these certain items. But they did not mention money.
Okay. I think I have the number of the woman who runs Acton. Were you raising your hand? No. Okay. Oh. I'll see if I can get it. Okay, let's pull it together. Because I was gonna say the other thing that we've done is diaper drives, hygiene product drives, then we don't have to worry about spoilage. But if they've got a list, let's go with the list. Awesome. So Hillary, we all have town emails. Do you have Dennis's email to send in the list, or do you want to go through Mike?
I do have Dennis's email, so I can.
Okay. Why don't you send it to Mike and copy Dennis, and then we'll make sure it gets all taken care of. How's that sound?
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you. Glad
So
you were here.
Dennis, is that letter that'll need to be updated?
Yeah, so that's a simple added paragraph that I think you could approve tonight with, as drafted, with the additional paragraph noting the food pantry donations.
Okay.
And we can insert it tomorrow. That way we can call it done
Yep.
as of tomorrow with that insert, and it can be distributed, it goes on the town website. I know you share it with Action. Foxborough News is another outlet. Social media, it can be posted many places.
All right.
Kristen, I only have one other suggestion. Maybe it might not be feasible for this upcoming town meeting, but if there's a way we can arrange for some childcare. So I believe that it was one of the traditions in the past where like they had childcare available during town meeting time, so families can drop their kids to attend the meeting in the past, but I don't know if we can revive that.
So there's people in the audience shaking their head yes. Do any of you guys want to speak to that? You have to go to the mic or have the mic passed to you.
We've done it in the past and it's been done through the PTF.
Hillary's here. Yep.
When like for regionalization, it was all the PTOs got together and they did it. So I think in the past it's been done through the PTF at the library. So when I organized it, when we were doing the override, there's some concern because you can't have kids at the library until 11 o'clock at night and getting babysitters and then but generally it's organized through the PTFs in the past, the PTOs and the PTFs. So I don't know if you can do it for fall town meeting. That's usually for the annual.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Hillary, can you bring that back to the PTF? And I mean, fall time meeting is only a couple of weeks away, but maybe we could get on this
Yeah.
early for annual.
Yeah, I can bring that back. I think we talked about it in the past. I think the issue is finding the volunteers, and in the past, some of the teachers donated their time, but Dana doesn't want them to have to feel obligated to do that. So, yeah, it's just a matter of finding those volunteers.
Hillary, what about like the volunteers from like the summer program, right? Like where there were kids that were becoming counselors, some of those kids.
Yeah, that's definitely a thought. We could.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
You know, I
Look
mean,
into that.
Yeah, regarding the childcare, I do have some institutional memory that was provided to me from the John Fallon, our past moderator, in the form of some notes and emails, and I can pull that out and share it with the select board after the meeting tonight on the topic of childcare specifically and what's been done historically and what's been considered in the past. And it may overlap some of the comments you've already heard, but I think it's a fairly complete history. As you can imagine, John was pretty good at doing that.
He has an incredible memory. Yes. Okay, great. So we'll get that going. Good idea about the Flower Meadows counselors. Question for Mike, if it is Flower Meadows counselors who are already on payroll, could they be compensated for babysitting that evening? Can we look into it and see if there's money for that? You know what I mean? They've already gone through their queries or whatever they have to do, so they're already on payroll.
Right.
It wouldn't be a volunteer thing, it would be a paid thing.
Yep. I mean,
I'm throwing it as an idea.
yeah, we could look into that, but if they were volunteers, we wouldn't have them registered in payroll already. If they weren't.
No. Flower Meadows counselors are on here. That's what I mean, is it would be a paid gig for them. We wouldn't be asking them to volunteer. We'd be saying, could you come watch children for 3 hours?
Yeah,
I
can
think it
certainly
may
look
be
into
too
that.
short.
I thought that Priya was mentioning the counselors in training who are volunteers, unpaid, or maybe I misunderstood.
I think I thought you meant both. Priya, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, whatever would work, right? Like to get, like, I think we should approach all avenues and see where we are able to. Some of them, if they are looking for volunteer hours, they'll be more than willing to, right? Like all the high school kids probably need volunteer hours for graduation, so.
I think it might be kind of point or tight to pull this together for this meeting.
No, not for this one, for the
This is for
annual.
STM, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for STM.
Yeah.
I mean, ATM, sorry, ATM. Okay, all right, I think we have some direction there. Okay, getting back to what's already here. Is there any further discussion on what is actually in the package? All right, seeing none. I move to authorize the 2023 Fall Town Meeting notice for public media release as drafted with additional language inserted for donations to the food pantry.
Second.
Priya seconded. Any further discussion? All right, we'll do a roll call vote. All in favor, please say aye. Wes?
Folks,
Priya?
Sundaram, aye.
Dave?
McKinnon, I.
Hilberg, aye. All right. Our final agenda item of the evening is Fall Town Meeting warrant, board assignments to articles. Okay, so again, I read and highlighted my select board operations policies. It actually does say in there that, you know, the chair will present everything, et cetera, et cetera. During my past tenure and during quite a bit of my experience, everyone took turns, and basically whoever was the liaison to the article in whatever way, shape, or form would be the presenter, do the recommendation, you know, and just speak to it on behalf of the board, you know, when we have something to speak to. So I would prefer to go back to that for a couple of reasons. A, it should make town meeting a little more interesting to have different voices. And B, the liaisons will have the time to do the research to really drill in, know what you need to know, be prepared to answer any and all questions so we don't come up short. And C, just to give the town an opportunity to get to know all of us. So to that end, I did ask
Mike?
Sorry, I'm looking for my list. I lost my list. I got too much paper here. I have a list somewhere. So I asked them to put it into the packet with everybody's liaisons already there. So if you guys want to turn to that. Now, first of all, does anybody have, any issues or concerns? If you don't want to speak in public or whatever, no one's going to force you, but I just think it'd be a great idea to spread the wealth. But what do you guys think?
Well, I mean, I think it's a reasonable idea. I've listed down here for the water resources. I'm kind of wondering if, with Les Fox being, the sort of the expert on that, he might be a better person to be
Well, no,
discussing it, but.
what this is the motion and the select board's recommendation. So you're not going to make the presentation.
Oh, okay, okay.
You're going to read the motion.
Yep.
And then make this board's recommendation.
Okay.
You won't be doing the presentation.
That's fine.
And the motion will be all prepared for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything will be ready. It just, you'll be fully schooled on everything that they're doing. If there are questions for the select board, you would answer those questions, but you're right. Les will probably be the one there, but yours.
With the history, the
Right.
knowledge, yeah.
But you'd also be the backup if there are questions. Sometimes when you're standing up there, it can be a little stressful and it's nice to have someone to have your back.
I'd like to say Mike.
There you go. Wes and Priya, what do you guys think?
I think it's good. I mean, that's what like we did in FinCom too, so, yeah. It's good.
Wes, what do you think?
Sure.
You're okay with it?
I said sure, yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't hear you. Sorry. All right, awesome. And actually, the way it works out, Wes has two and the rest of us each have one. So, because there are several things that we won't be speaking on.
No, Wes has
So,
one.
what?
Wes has one.
No,
Oh.
two.
No, he's got one down the bottom.
No, he would
minority.
read the recommendation of
And
the
three.
personnel plan and he would make the motion for changing the state fund seal. So, all right, I think it shares it out nicely. So, Mike, do you want to kind of guide the board what'll happen? In terms of what's going to happen at our next meeting when we're preparing?
Sure. What we'll do is we'll get the, you're gonna vote, your recommendations. Actually, you've already done that. We'll get the motions ready. We'll send them to town council and then we'll get them to you for whoever's gonna, as a packet. And then we'll get them, back from town council.
Okay,
All cleaned up in case there's any changes needed.
excellent. All right, any further discussion, questions, concern about this?
So the ones that are not listed here, like, are we gonna like kind of divvy it up amongst all of us? Is that how it's gonna work?
Yeah, I guess we can divvy it up or why don't we just do that? It doesn't all have to be me, because in my head, I was like, all right, anything that doesn't have a liaison, because it's department head related would fall back to me, but then that gives me a lot of talking to do.
And if you like, we can just alternate back and forth, or you can choose tonight, whatever is your preference.
I'm okay with you doing too, Kristen. I just didn't know like how we were planning. Okay, yeah.
I was thinking alternate, boom, 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 so that we all, I'd
Yeah.
like to alternate, just start with me and boom, 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 and then
Okay.
do the blank ones.
So then put me down for number 4.
You want number
Well,
4?
based on that, round robin kind of a thing.
Yeah, all right, so Dave gets number 4.
Dave.
Retired town employee deductions,
Yeah.
Priya. And then 2024 interdepartmental operating
Can you
budget
write-
transfers.
She's going to do that. Can you write that
Is
down?
that mine?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Kristen's.
Who's
What? Oh,
Who's Kristen?
funding local transit operator position. The next person would be Dave, right? Are you okay with that, Dave? No, Wes, that's yours, Wes. Sorry, Wes, are you okay with that one?
Sure.
Thank you, sir. We don't do planning board ones. Replacement of the fire department tender 65. Next person in line is Dave. Dave, are you okay with that one? No, you don't have to take it.
Well,
You can ask us.
I could, but I don't really, I think that's an
Priya?
important case to make. If I'm the best guy to make it, then that's fine.
So Priya or Wes, which of you guys have more experience with the fire department? You know, Priya is FinCom and Wes is a former, I mean, as our institutional knowledge, sorry.
Doesn't matter.
We don't have liaisons to departments anymore because it's a.
Yeah, so like, shouldn't matter, like, doesn't
Well,
matter,
both Strong
just,
TA and strong chiefs, right? So we don't.
yeah.
No, I wasn't sure, again, just who has more experience with it. My
I'll
experience
do
is
the
back 15
funding
years.
transit operation position if that needs one.
I'm sorry, Priya, you said you'll take that one?
Yeah.
She's gonna take local transit operator position. Wes, do you want the tender or do you want me to take it?
Sure, I can do it.
All right. Wes gets that one. All right, Dave, that means you get, oh, actually, I wanted to do the full-time on-site fine instructor. You guys okay with that?
Yes, you should.
Okay, and then I would also like to, because I feel like it segs into 13 and 14.
Mhm.
So Dave, you get establishment of a canine unit unless you prefer not to.
Bring it.
Bring it, okay. Okay, so we just, all right, I think we shared it out pretty fairly. Thank you, everybody. That's it, right? Just one page. Okay. All right.
The 14, I think, is Kristen too, right?
Yeah,
13 and
14 will
14,
be
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So, all right, so 4 is Dave, 5 is Priya, 6 is Kristen. 9, what's that? I'm just filling in the ones. Am I going too fast? I'm sorry. Okay, back it up. Sorry. I could just pass you my notes. Tell me when you're ready. 6 is me. 9 is Priya. 12 is Wes. 13 and 14 will be me. And 15 will be Dave. All right, thank you, everybody. All righty. Any further discussion? I move to accept the select board members' assignments to the fall town meeting articles as presented and displayed. Well, they're not displayed yet. As discussed.
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, roll call vote. Oh, did you say that, me? You did
What's
this.
that?
No,
I think I scratched my nose, but.
you are allowed to do that, okay.
So,
Okey-doke. All right, roll call vote. All in favor, please say aye. Wes,
Folks, I.
Priya,
Sundaram, I.
Dave,
McKeon and I.
Elberg, aye.
Motion
Is
to
there
adjourn.
any additional business that needs to be brought before the board this evening? What?
Wes already did a motion to adjourn.
Oh, I didn't, Wes, you gotta speak up. I don't know if it's your, what, all right, okay.
Motion to adjourn.
I was taking a task. Robert's rule says I'm supposed to ask if there's any additional business to be brought before the town. Hearing
Yeah,
none,
motion
Wes
to
moved
adjourn.
to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Wes, you were trying to make a joke. I cut you off, sorry. All right, all in favor, please say aye. Roll call vote. Wes,
Folks, I.
Priya,
Sundaram, I.
Dave,
McKeon and I.
Hilberg, aye.
8:30.
8:30.